Good morning and welcome back. We are continuing with our Bible studies. Today we are on day 269. We are looking at the moment at the parables of Jesus, and this is the one about the grumbling labourers in the vineyard. Matthew chapter 20, verses 1 to 16. Jesus was speaking to his disciples. The kingdom of heaven is like this landowner. He went out early in the morning to hire day workers for his vineyard. First he agreed a wage of 1 denarius a day with them, and then he sent them into his vineyard. About 9 in the morning he saw some others standing there doing nothing. He said to them, "Off you go into my vineyard as well, and I'll see you're all right." And they went. Then again he went out at noon and at 3 in the afternoon and did the same. Then about 5 he went out, and there were still people standing there looking for work. "Have you been standing here all day? Why?" They replied, "No one offered us work." He said, "Off you go into the vineyard." And when the evening came, the owner called his manager. "Call the workers over to get their wages. Pay those who came last first, and end with those who came first." When those hired about 5 in the afternoon came, each was given 1 denarius. So when those hired first came, they assumed they would get more. But each of them also was given 1 denarius. When they had it in their hands, they grumbled to the owner. "They only worked for 1 hour, and you've paid them the same as us, who've been working all day long in this sweltering heat." To one of them he said, "My friend, I have done nothing wrong to you. We agreed you would be paid 1 denarius, didn't we? Take what belongs to you, and off you go. It's up to me what I do with what I own. Or is it rather that you resent my generosity?" So the last became first, and the first last. We need to be clear that this parable is not a prophecy about 21st century wage negotiations, nor is it about the rights and wrongs of industrial relations. It is quite clear that employers have a responsibility for the welfare of their workers, and the workers deserve a fair day's pay for their work. The denarius in the time of Jesus was the proverbial penny a day, given as the standard basic wage for a labourer or an unskilled farm worker. It was seen as the basic subsistence level of pay for casual work, so nobody in this parable went short. The owner could afford to be generous in exchange for the work that could enable him to bring in his vintage at a decent profit. The workers all got at least what they expected, and those who came later in the day got quite a lot more. As he said, the owner saw they were all right. So, in what sense is this like the kingdom of heaven? Where do we see ourselves in this parable? Basically, of course, the people of God should be the earthly analogy of God's kingdom. All the time that this idea stayed locked up in a single nation, God's rewards and favours were agreed. "I will be your God, and you will be my people," words found in several places in the Old Testament. For instance, Exodus 6:7, Jeremiah 7:23, and Ezekiel 36:28. These are the people from the labour market who came first, of course. Matthew had been first a disciple and then an apostle, and he had seen the gospel spread past the boundaries of Israel. there had very likely been questions amongst his formerly Jewish Christians about whether previously faithful law-abiding Jews would be in an advantageous position and would be rewarded more because of all that extra effort they'd put in by keeping the law in detail. This parable is the answer to that question. The former Jews get the same generosity from God as everyone else. In the kingdom, we all get exactly what we need, however much or little effort we have put in. The principle of equality is a precious one and needs to be stated again and again. We are all equal in God's eyes. It doesn't matter if we have believed for 70 years or a single day, nor does it matter if we've donated just a penny or spent a whole lifetime serving the gospel. The reward is the same. It's up to God to choose where he puts his favour, and it is not up to us to resent the blessings he gives to others. Tomorrow we have a parable that has come to us by two different routes, and we will enjoy, I think, sorting out its meaning. It is all about how we use the gifts that God has given us. I'll see you tomorrow.